Aloha, I'm Reverend Tim Lytle, Senior Minister here at Unity Church of Hawaii in Honolulu. And we are so grateful for all of you who watch us on our YouTube channel. We know with you that as you view these teachings and apply them to your lives, that it helps to build your life into the very best one that can be imagined. If you're ever in the area, please come and join us for a service, and please enjoy the message that you're about to watch. Aloha.
Thank you. Dan Del Negro wrote that song for this service. Yeah. As well as the next one you'll sing too, right? You wrote that for this service as well. Amazing talent that we have here in Dan Del Negro and the wonderful staff that we have here at Unity Church of Hawaii. And not all of you may have been here last week. I don't know. I just want to give a shout out for Reverend Johanna Kelly, who is now our associate minister. If you would stand. Go ahead and stand up. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And we have an amazing number of ministries here. Our school, the preschool, it's one of the most sought after preschools on the island, and about 95 children. And we have amazing ministries that we have in the Wellness Center and the Counseling Center and classes. These classes that June and Catherine are going to be sharing, and lots of other classes, and the class this afternoon. There's so many good opportunities. So I want to talk about opportunity. Here's your chance. You notice there's a lion representing courage, representing willing to step in and do what needs to be done. Here's your chance. Chance as a spiritual community, chance as an individual to reveal the Christ as you. Now, change seems to be a part of life. Have you noticed that? Just keeps happening. Things keep changing. And the people who cannot tolerate any kind of change, who just freak out completely with any kind of change, the kind of people who at all costs resist change, are also the ones that I worked with a lot in psychiatry. Because change is part of life. Change continues to happen because Spirit keeps shifting and showing up in all sorts of different ways, because we are here to express the presence of Christ as us, to express our God self. And so that involves change. Some changes are difficult. When you've had someone close to you pass away, that can be really, really devastating. It can feel like a major part of yourself has been stripped away, or when a relationship ends, or when there's some big move or job change in your life. Change seems to be part of life. And we respond to it in different ways. Again, this was my specialty as a chaplain, was to work with people's grief process. I guess it's a good thing to specialize in, because everyone has grief at some point in their life, and a lot of people will go through sadness or confusion or be in shock and not know what's happening, not understand, just feel blindsided. And some people will get angry when someone passes away or someone leaves. Sometimes we want to get angry at the person, but we don't always feel permission to. So instead, we might just get angry at everybody, which doesn't help. But whatever you feel when you go through a change, that's okay. It's okay to feel what you feel and to embrace it, to acknowledge it, to work through it. So I want to tell you about some change. Now, I thought, here's your chance. sounded a little bit better than "here's your change." We had that discussion in the worship team. And by the way, we have an excellent worship team that helped put together these services. And what I realize is that not everyone here heard when I talked about that I was going through a discernment process. That I was going through a process to discern what is mine to do. Now, I debated about what to say about that and what prompted it. Because I want us all to hang in there together and see ourselves all as one community. But the fact is, there's been a lot of difficult things that have happened here during my time here. Some things that I would consider abusive or quite disturbing. Now, I love each and every person. And I love the congregation, and the congregation has been incredibly supportive and loving. So there's no issue between the congregation and myself. There's some rumors floating around. And sometimes the mind, being a meaning-making machine, will latch on to gossip and rumors. But let me tell you, there is just love between this congregation and myself, and I love each and every one of you. But in this discernment process, I went to Unity in Marin, which is in Northern California. And I was also teaching in New Zealand. And also I was meeting with chaplains on the island. I didn't realize that I was going to get 3 job offers out of the deal. And so it's been a time of discernment and a time of really thinking about what is mine to do? What is Spirit leading me to do? And as I've been in this service today, I absolutely realize that I will do whatever I truly believe Spirit leading me to do. Whether it makes any sense to anyone else or not, whether it even makes sense to me, I will do that which I feel Spirit is propelling me forth to do. And I encourage you to do the same. I am absolutely convinced that this church is a divine idea from the mind of God that is seeking to grow and expand and prosper even more. So this has been a long discernment process, and I've been thinking about how much I love each and every one of you, thinking about how I'm seeing people blossom and grow. This weekend had an amazing prayer workshop for those who want to learn more about prayer or are interested in being prayer chaplains. And we just went very deeply into the presence. And that's the kind of stuff I live for. But all too much in this particular church, I've been focused on crises and putting out fires and trying to keep people from fighting. Now, I didn't know what I would say. This morning's message was a lot smoother. So if you like smooth, you might just want to leave and watch the 9 o'clock. And the truth is, this is a wonderful community. I don't want to scare anybody away. There are the most wonderful people, some of the most wonderful people I've ever met on the planet are in this room. So just know this is a wonderful, wonderful congregation. And it's important to focus on the mission of this church and to focus on the fact that this is a community. And it's time that this community take even more ownership of the direction of this church and not leave it up to a minister, the sage on the stage that is brought in, but as a community to rise up in your power. Here's your chance to step up into the power, to demonstrate the Christ as you, to work together despite apparent differences. In this discernment process, it has, Unity and Marin contacted me recently, and they said our board has unanimously and excitedly decided to extend to you the invitation to become our senior minister. And that followed a call from Unity of Auckland in New Zealand, who said, we have unanimously, anyway. So it's been this discernment process, and in my discernment and in listening to my own heart and listening to Spirit, it has come to me that I know absolutely that I am called to go to Unity and Marin. Now, there's been a lot of grief in this process, because even something we choose to do, there can be still grief about the wonderful people that I'm connected with, the people that I love, and I'll always love you. Nothing will stop me from loving you. How do I know that? Because there have been some folks that have done some incredible things, and yet all I feel is love. There's nothing you can do to stop me from loving you. Because I see in each and every one of you the Christ presence, and I define love as this. Love is the divine God recognizing itself and treating it as such. So when I look at you, it is the expression of God looking back upon itself and saying, oh my God, look at these beautiful beings of light, and they don't all know it. So it's time to wake up to that. And this is your chance to really pull together as a community, to not leave it up to just a few, to not leave it up to just a few elected people or just leave it up to someone that has been hired. But it's up to you to rise up. Have you seen the organizational chart for Unity here? Have you seen it? At the top of the organizational chart is God. What a concept. Right below that is the congregation. The congregation. You. Under that is the board of trustees. They are your representatives. They answer to you. And it's up to you to select board of trustees who genuinely represent your views. It's up to you. This is your chance. It's your chance to rise up in your power. It's your chance to help define what this church is and what it's about. Just as in your own individual life, it's up to you to decide, what am I going to bring forth today? I don't know what it was going on Friday night. Did any of you drive around Honolulu Friday night? Oh, most of you are very, very smart. Some of us were trying to get to the prayer chaplain workshop. I've never seen the traffic like this in Honolulu. I've been here almost 2 years. I've never seen the traffic like this. I mean, it was backed up. Intersections were blocked. People were irritable. They were taking it out on each other. It didn't look very aloha. And I thought, I'm just going to stay centered in spirit. I don't have to join this drama. Despite what's going on the outside, I don't have to start honking. I don't have to start getting irritable, screech around the other car, shake my fist. I don't have to do that. I choose not to be part of the drama. I choose to be part of the solution. And you can choose that too. It's your chance. As individuals in life, it is up to us. What is it that you want to create? How is it that you want to express the God presence as you? Now, there are some of you who are hurting because of the announcement that I've given. And there are others of you that are in shock. There may be some who are angry. Maybe at me, or maybe with the circumstances. There are some of you who may not know what to feel. There's some of you who might be saying, next. What I would encourage you to do is to really be with your feelings. Really sit with your feelings. Don't just try to short circuit, take a shortcut around it. Because it's important to deal with the things that are happening. It's important to deal with the things that are happening here. And I encourage this congregation to encourage the board. Remember the org chart? I encourage this congregation to encourage the board to seek out the support, the expertise of Unity Worldwide Ministries so that they can assist in this transition time. I wanted to make Reverend Johanna the associate minister anyway. And when things opened up in the budget, I knew absolutely that that was what I was called to do. But I believe the timing is good. She's not assuming the position of senior minister, but to have a point person in terms of ministries and pastoral care. And we have amazing prayer chaplains and licensed Unity teachers and licensed Unity teacher candidates. We have amazing people here, and it's important to work together. I didn't know what all I was going to say. The 9 o'clock was a totally different talk. I was writing a manuscript. It's my first time since I've been here that I was writing a manuscript to speak from. And this morning I put the manuscript away. I just want to speak from my heart. But I want you to know that no matter what the circumstances in life, you can conquer. And the way you conquer it is by facing what's happening, gathering support, acknowledging the Christ within, and going out there and expressing that Christ presence. Being right here expressing that Christ presence and seeing that Christ presence in one another. It's been an honor to serve here. In the resignation letter that I sent to the board last night, I was giving at least 30 days notice, so looking at probably mid-February would be my end of service here officially as senior minister. But it will never be the end of my love and prayers for all of you. I've been praying for you since Sky was here. And when you went through that transition, I was deep in prayer for this community. And when this community went through another transition, you were in my prayers. You will always be in my heart. You will always be in my prayers. And as it says in the Course in Miracles, the premise of the Course in Miracles, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Nothing can threaten our love. Nothing can threaten our Christ presence living as us. Nothing can hold back this divine idea of God called Unity Church of Hawaii. Nothing can hold it back if everyone will work together and work for the mission and not for individual ego. I love you all. I want to give thanks for all of those who've been so supportive, the wonderful staff and the teachers and prayer chaplains and all the wonderful congregants, and most especially to my wife, Olga Lucia, who's been the one there with me every step of the way. Thank you. I only see the best days ahead for all of us. God bless you.